What do you do when the thing you love burns you out? Do you push through or do you give up? I've gone back and forth on that question for months. Deep down, I knew I needed a break. But the stubbornness in me took over until my body decided that enough was enough. Since starting my channels last September, I poured every ounce of my free time into making videos, on top of working and parenting. I neglected my health, my social life, the downtime for myself, and the peace of my inner world. I was trying to manage 3 different YouTube channels in 3 different languages. It started as a great idea, but it quickly became a source of stress and exhaustion. Eventually, I paused 2 other channels to focus on this one, but the exhaustion had already built up, and I felt like my nervous system was shutting down from burnout. At the same time, the tendinitis in my right wrist got so bad that I had to stop because I couldn't use the mouse without feeling pain. Emotionally and mentally, I was completely drained, and physically, I'm still recovering. Before throwing myself into the world of YouTube, logically, I knew that growing a channel takes time, and I knew that my art and my worth aren't tied to the algorithm and numbers. But logic doesn't stop an emotional sting. I couldn't help feeling disappointed and rejected every time I published a video. I didn't have unrealistic expectations or high hopes, but it's still hard not to feel down after putting so much time, effort, and vulnerability into a world of silence. In the end, my art became a performance. It became what will the viewers want? How do I improve retention? And what time should I publish my English shorts so that they don't get stuck in the local French feed? Or wondering if my videos just weren't good enough. Slowly, I lost my original intention for this creative project. I want to share my healing journey and create a space of authenticity, hoping that my videos reach people who need them, and that others might find some comfort through my art, because it's meant to be a visual companion. So you're not just watching me talk to the camera. That's why I felt like a hypocrite when I was trying to fight against the algorithm and numbers, instead of focusing on my own healing. Because, to be honest, I really need it at the moment. Over the past 2 months, I've been taking a step back from YouTube to process the turbulence that the aftermath of EMDR has brought, along with the grief of letting go of an entire era of my life. My son turned 12 recently, and it forced me to face the fact that the little boy who used to be the center of my world isn't coming back. They seem like separate struggles because they came from different areas of my life, but underneath, they were all pointing to the deepest wound I have been carrying since childhood. My first EMDR session felt like it brought that painful wound to the surface and disrupted the peace I thought I had before I started therapy. I had no idea what to expect, and I was falling into the darkness. For many weeks, I felt like I was on an emotional roller coaster. I found myself in a very negative mindset during that time. I had no drive or desire to do anything. Everything felt meaningless and pointless. I spent all my free time watching TV shows because I didn't want to feel or think. At the same time, I was terrified because it felt so similar to the depression I experienced before. I didn't want to go back to that version of me. And I was trying to figure out whether it was the aftermath of EMDR, grief, burnout, depression, or maybe all of them happening at once. I was spiraling, and I tried so hard to pull myself out of it, but I just couldn't. At some point, I gave up on trying to understand why I felt so negative. Clearly, we can't logic our way out of our feelings. I gave up on trying to fight against the darkness. I let myself cry when I needed to. I reminded myself that I don't need to feel guilty or incompetent if I couldn't continue my YouTube channels. I made sure that I didn't put myself down or blame myself for not doing anything productive. I told myself that taking a break is essential for healing. And no matter how long this break is, my body will let me know when it's ready. Unlike the past version of me, this time I made sure I ate well, slept enough, and maintained a routine even when I didn't feel motivated. Sooner or later, without knowing when exactly, I started to feel less down and negative. I started to see some light through the cracks. Honestly, I'm not fully on the other side of it yet. I still have a lot of grieving to do, and the road of healing seems like a lifetime. But I keep reminding myself that no matter how bad the storm is, it will pass eventually. It's the same with negative thoughts and feelings. They aren't who I am. They are just temporary dark clouds over my head, and the sunlight is right behind them. If you're currently in the dark and wondering when you will see the light again, I hope this video helps you feel a little less alone. Sometimes it's completely okay for life to feel pointless or meaningless for a while. I went through a long period where getting out of bed felt impossible. And there were moments in my life when the pain felt so heavy that I genuinely didn't want to exist anymore. It's a choice I had to make over and over again to keep going, even when I couldn't see the light yet. If you're exhausted from moving forward, take a break. Rest isn't giving up. It's a choice that gives us the strength to keep going when we are ready. Take all the time you need.